we're going to show you how easy it is to find car shows, swap meets, and cruise-ins using Big Al's List. Just click on the link at the top of the page. It'll bring up a screen here. It'll default to the date of about a month's range. If you want to make it a little less, say we can drop it down to about 3 weeks. You put in your zip code and the distance you want to travel. It remembers that. The distance is map distance and not necessarily road distance. Driving distance is generally a little bit more. So if we're all set, then we just hit the search button, and here we are. We have a list of events that are coming up in that time frame. If we want to add this event, we can add this to our favorites, and now we've added it to our favorite show. And let's add this other one too, just to our favorite show. You'll notice that we have some information on obviously the date and the time of the event, the cost of registration and the time of registration are in green. There's also a map for each event. We can click on the map and display it where we're at. And we have weather for that particular weekend. For that location will display. So it's just a simple click. There's also information on how to get a hold of the people should you need to do so. If we want to go back and see what the weekly cruise-ins are like, we can select a day, say Wednesday. We still have our zip code and so forth. We can do a search, and here's all the Wednesday zip codes within that mileage. If we want to add this one to our favorites, we can too. Just there we go. So speaking of my favorites, we go to my favorites list, and here's the shows we've added and the cruise. If we want a more sophisticated cruise, or we want search, we can search by an event name. Say all the events at the IX Center. And we do a search, and there they are. We can also search for events by city. Cleveland, for instance, and we do a search, and here's all the ones within the city of Cleveland that are coming up in that time frame. So there you have it. That's how you can do a search on car shows, swap meets, and cruise-ins with Big Al's List. Speaking of pictures, the photo gallery is extensive. Going through the pictures, from different years. There's about 100,000 pictures now. They're broken down. They're sorted alphabetically by the event name. We can also sort by the date. And if we want to look at this particular cruise, you'll get an idea of how it works. It comes up. We have the main photos. You can click through them if you want. Click on the thumbnail. Will also bring them up. You can also download the image if you want. It'll bring it up and ask you to save it. Or you can open it up in another window and save it that way, the actual JPEG image. You can also run this thing automatically, so now it'll just skip through and play for you. You can also bring it up to full screen, flip through the thumbnails back and forth. It takes a little bit. We are live. And very easy to use system. You can go back and forth with this, or there's little buttons on the screen. That about covers the photo section. Big Al's List has other information besides car events. Weather, of course, is important, and here's weather for around the country, and taking in areas that have races and car events specifically. The Cool Links section is really extensive. There's all these different types of links here, from amusement parks, automotive, clocks, computers, cooking recipes, criminal search, entertainment. It goes on and on. Financial, freebies, games, gardening, health information. You could literally spend the day just clicking through links here. Also, I'd like to point out there's information up here specifically for drag racing, the different drag strips around the country and how to get a hold of them. And also the information if you're planning to have your own car show or cruise in, different checklists you should take a look at to check out what you should do and how you need to handle certain things. There's also a list of classes, how they work out as far as awards go. Also disc jockeys and bands that you might be interested in, and food vendors. So there's quite a bit right there. We also have this section called Numbers. Now, Numbers has got information, for instance, transmission, gear ratios, hard to find stuff. And here it is, we've got it for the different types of things, the weights and all the information you want on that particular topic. Conversion charts, engine plug wiring, say for Ford. Take a Ford in 63 and here's the wiring and the firing order. There's just a lot of information under this number section. Universal VIN decoder. Put in the VIN number and you'll find out engine and trim for almost any newer vehicle. Liters to cubic inches. How does that work out? There's a lot of charts here. So there's more to Big L's list than just the car events.